Hey everyone, welcome to the Off the Break podcast. I'm your host, Tyler. Figured I would get my about me out of the way because it kind of seems like I'm just this dude that decided to make a podcast, and I am. I'm this dude talking about the all everything paintball related. We're going to be talking about products, we're going to be talking about team moves, we're going to be talking about player moves, we're going to be talking about ICPL, Woods Ball scenario, in the NXL. We're going to be talking about basically everything and anything paintball. That being said, this podcast is not sponsored. It has no sponsors. So if you would like to sponsor the podcast, email me right up here and we can get that sorted and I can display products and even give reviews on them. Go ahead and do that with all, even old products, old, new, stuff like that. And then obviously, send them back because they won't be doing any good here sitting in the dust. So I can just send the product right back. But anyways, so yeah, my name's Tyler. I've been playing paintball since about 2007, early 2007. I want to say maybe even middle of it. So it kind of happened just like it does with everybody else. You go to a birthday party, you kind of get hooked on it, and then the rest is history, right? Did it for my brother's birthday, and after that, yeah, I was hooked. I've been with the same team since day one, and haven't ever gone through any changes with that. I have, sorry, woof. I have gone with another team, like a throw together team, but like with the team I was on, if that makes sense. So it was a local team where we were playing the CFP series, and we just didn't have the 7 guys that we wanted. Was a 7? I mean, it was a 5-man, but we were looking to have 7 people for rotation and substitutions. Well, we didn't have that many people, so we did a throw together team. Still with the same guys, but we just needed more dudes. So yeah, I've been with the same team ever since, and it's been great. It's just hard to kind of get them to want to do the same thing I want to do, like with mech. I mean, I'm kind of done with the whole NXL, 10.2 situation, electrics, yada yada. It's not because of anything other than really I just don't really like the layouts. The layouts are just not fun. Everything's just big and bulky, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, just more about me. I've been playing for so long. I've gone through those changes: PSP, NXL, played CFP. I've done a lot of D6, like 3-man, because it was hard to get a group of players that just wanted to do the same thing. Like, granted, we did have like the 3 or 4 players that would be solid for it, but we still need 5. We still need 5 people to do 5-man. So it didn't really work out the way I wanted it to. So my paintball, I guess, career, you could say, has been very I mean, I've been through it all. But yeah, one of the guys that played on the throw together team is now a more known photographer. So shout out to him. I'm not going to say who it is, but if you see this podcast, you probably remember about 2012, 2013. Some of the videos are up on YouTube. But yeah, if you see this, man, what's going on? So yeah, that team, of course, as you can tell, did not really go well. It was pretty much one event and one event only. We didn't really go anywhere else from there. The photographer did his own thing, did pretty dang good, went to World Cup. He did, I think he took first place that year. He at least took podium. I do know that. He did at least took podium. So yeah, I used to play, well, I still do. I play scenario and Woods Ball now. Just because it just seems so like not everything's on your shoulders. You kind of just, you're out there to have fun, like especially with the ICPL. I hopefully have some things in the works for that, but we're going to see how that goes. I'm pretty excited if things go well, but yeah, it's like, I kind of stick to scenario and Woods Ball now. Not so much walk on stuff like that, but yeah, it's like, you can be aggressive when you want. And for me, I always play aggressive. It's a lot of fun. And for like the 2012-2013 season, down in my state, we were like always voted the number one attack team, number one aggressive team, stuff like that. And it was it was pretty cool. Like, it was nice to get those kinds of awards to show that what you were putting out there was being recognized. And that was a lot of fun. Even if it was like a battle of like, 80 versus 80, 100 versus 100, like to be selected, like your team to be selected and get those kinds of awards. It was nice. It was very good. It was very good. So yeah, with that being said, what am I doing now in paintball? I'm coaching. I'm coaching, and I've hopefully have some things in the works. I'm not going to say a lot about it just because if it goes through, it goes through, and I can talk about it more then. And then if it doesn't go through, then I can speak about what it was. And I'd like to do that. I'm just waiting on a response. That's all. That's pretty much all it is now. But other than that, what I'm doing is, I really want to put a mech team together. Not me. Like, I don't want to be the head honcho. I want to play on a mech team. I want to play some ICPL tournaments. I want to be able to travel and go do that, even woods ball tournaments or do scenarios. I really, that's my thing. NXL and local tournaments have taken a back seat just because of the layouts. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the layouts. They're very it's convoluted. The bunkers are all gigantic. It's all about hide and seek. And I was watching this interview with Archie, and he was saying, it's not really about skill anymore. It's all about getting up there, getting to the 50, seeing somebody's back and shooting a pod pack, shooting a back, shooting the back of a head. And, I have to agree with him. It's not very skill based. Not saying let's say for PSP days, the PSP wasn't like 100% skill based, but it was maybe 70-80% skill based because of the fact that, you're holding a lane a lot of the time and people will head check into that lane. I get it. But like with the bunkers all spread out more, there's a more open field. You'd have to choose what your next move is. Like what we know now as a paintball group and community blows what we knew out of the water, what we did know. So with that being said, like if we were to diminish the amount of bunkers on the field, or at least make them smaller, bring back the tombstones or something, like what kind of dynamics can we bring to the table then? And I think it's a lot. I think that we've grown as a community, and we can better understand and do things with not so many bunkers on the field. I don't know, or at least I shouldn't say not so many, but like not as big. Like back in the day when I played, we had like the A, like the X, and then we had the A. Then the A was, it was the X but cut in half. And I mean, I kind of agree. There's no reason to have a 30-foot tall bunker when nobody's 30 feet high and nobody's shooting that high in order to, get a kill. But yeah, I mean, that's like, that's what I kind of look at it. Like, we should bring back some of the more interesting bunkers, like the little L's on the snakes, maybe, I don't know, maybe like put them up next to a W make it butted up like vertically and not like horizontally on the ground. I don't know. There's like so much creativity we can do with bunkers. It's kind of insane. But yeah, I'm coaching, hoping to do ICPL. I'd like to get a strong team together. I'm not even really like, if it comes down to it, I'm not really looking to win. I'm just looking to have fun, play ICPL for what it is. And that's just for everybody to have fun. So there's that. So I guess our next topic would be, let's see here. I guess it would be the bunkers, exactly what I was kind of talking about. So like with bunkers and everything, we have the gigantic wedges. We had the gigantic W until the mishap, right? The mishap where we now wear chin straps. And I don't know. I feel like it's just kind of convoluted. It's just not the best thing. To have all these bunkers. I feel like it's kind of like a rush to 50, or, find out where you can hide to slide into another bunker and then, go from there. I don't know, maybe it's nostalgia talking, or maybe it's just like it's a real thing where bunkers just that size are unneeded, because we can be creative with other ones. Let's take a can and stick a W right next to it, or let's stick a can on the snake side, and now you have to play, let's put it on the 50 snake bun on the inside, right? Let's bring back tombstones and make those the knuckles, or let's start bringing the dynamics of, I get it. We're kind of like, so like Dorito side is always Dorito side, snake side is always snake side, and then we have a middle, right? That's kind of been the game plan since kind of day one of paintball on airball. I could be absolutely wrong since day one, but like from it really taking off for PSP and MPPL and stuff, it was like, we have our Doritos, and then we have our snake, and then we have the middle. But like, who's to say we always need that sort of dynamic? Let's say one layout, we just don't use a D side. It's two snake sides. Let's say we have no snake side and it's two D sides. Let's not even do that, right? Let's take the Doritos and throw it in the middle of the field, like some layouts used to be back in PSP, where like a Dorito was the home bunker, or like a cake was a small cake was the Dorito corner, and nobody decided they wanted to use that because it was just pretty much a death bunker. You could just drop balls in on it. We have the tools to be creative, and we're kind of just choosing to do the same old. And I feel like we're much smarter than that. We can make the game of paintball fun, as well as competitive, if we have these things in place. So, the NXL. I mean, I know it's the thing right now. I know it's the league, of course. Like PSP was the league, and that sort of thing. But I feel like I don't know. It's like those wedges, man. they really get on my nerve. I mean, I get it. We used to have like the car washes and crap, and MPPL had the car washes a lot on the snake, even middle as the 50. So, but I mean, like, why do we need a gigantic brick in the middle of the field with 4 W's on each side, and then 2 wedges on each side of that on the 40? Like, ooh, like let's just put one giant beam in the middle of the field, and then line up the snake and the Doritos on each side of the field and go from there. Like, or start the players out in those bunkers. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that's how it is. That's my feelings on the NXL layouts. That's kind of why I don't really play it. 10.2 is a nice speed. I think maybe even like 8.5. Like, I'm just throwing a number out there. I really don't know how slow 8.5 is, but like, okay, let's just say 9. Let's just go in the middle, meet in the middle, and say 9 BPS. I mean, even then, if you're gonna have these big of bunkers, drop the BPS to 9. I mean, shoot, I know we have these electronic markers, and we can shoot up to 15 balls a second. That nobody really does anymore unless you're playing a scenario and you crank your gun up to like 320 just to shoot the other side of the field. But shoot, I mean, what's the point of having 15 BPS anymore if we keep lowering it? I mean, that's an argument for another day. I mean, I get it. It used to be all about speed, and now we're not anymore. But yeah, anyways, I'm getting off track so bad. But yeah, freaking 9 BPS. Why not? Let's do that. Yeah. So, anyways, that's the bunkers, and sorry, I've got my notes down here just so it's not so bad off track. But yeah, that's the bunkers and how bad or good they are. I mean, Doritos and the snake have always been in play. Maybe we change it up, and we go from Doritos and Snake, and we make the D side all cans and call it the Forest. You know, they're like supposed to be like tree trunks or something. But yeah. So yeah, other than that, that's I don't know. That's my feelings on the bunkers in a nutshell. I could go more into it. I would have to be asked questions about it and why I think certain bunkers and certain reasons about certain bunkers. But I don't have anybody asking me those questions, right? But yeah, there we go. So that's the bunkers and how bad or good they are. I wouldn't say they're necessarily bad or good. It's just maybe we need a small change up. You know, the W kind of sucked dick, and now we kind of walked away from that gigantic W, and now we're kind of relying on our field to be nothing but wedges. Watch, I'm calling it out. One of these layouts is going to be a 50, and they're going to be wedges back to back, to where it's like out and then down, and then the down parts are pointed towards the Dorito and Snake side. I'm calling it now, if we haven't done it already. So another thing that I kind of want to talk about is, like, I kind of want to talk about paintball product prices. Like, okay, this is probably an extreme, like, controversial topic, but like, I'm not going to be calling out any products because it's just, I'm not trying to start some sort of war, and I'm not trying to down products, because that's not what I'm here to talk about, or put down products, because they're all good in their own way, right? Now, the way I look at some of the things is, like, we're entering a realm where masks are now $250. $250 just to see, breathe, and hear. That's all. And that's kind of insane to me. I mean, again, I'm a very nostalgic player. I hail from the olden days, and I get that. But just from my point of view, it's kind of insane. Like, we're getting a mask that's $240, and it protects my face just as much as an $80 mask does. And it's, you know, it doesn't do anything different. You know, it doesn't wipe the forehead off my sweat any better than that $80 mask does. And if it gets past my headband or my beanie, then, like, you know, it should be wiping up that sweat. The ventilation, you know, of all the masks I've ever worn, and I've worn Profilers, I've worn Vios, I've worn Proflexes, I've worn I don't want to say I've worn them a lot, I4s, but like I've tried on I4s. I've tried on EVSs, E-Flexes, E-Vents, the Helix mask from, I think it was Invert Helix, I think that's what it was. Man, Sly Profits. I used to wear the orange and white Sly Profits, and really it's really all kind of the same. I mean, one doesn't really do better than others. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Sly Profits were rough. You know, the mad echo and the padding on the ear was basically in your ear and you couldn't hear anything, and the breathability was just not all there. Yeah, so, you know, it's kind of insane that we're being charged $200 to $240 for a mask that does the same thing as an $80 mask. Now, it's my choice to buy that, absolutely 100%, and it's everybody else's choice to buy that 100%. I'm gonna move the mic a little bit, but yeah, it's just kind of crazy that we're being charged that, and we've had some masks like the push mask. They came out with the nose adjustments. That's awesome. I mean, to me, magnetic versus clip, dude, we're really pulling straws if we're gonna go there. Like, you're gonna tell me you can't do this and find your clip and just pop the button, and, you know, I don't know. I'm not saying it's a great design, because it's amazing. That's an amazing design. You throw the magnet on at any point and just pop it on. That's awesome. And I would buy a push mask. I really would. But I just can't. I can't spend that much money on a mask. I wear Vios. They were 200. I think they were $200 when they got released, but we got them for the deal, and only $100. Only got them for $100. I said, yeah, absolutely. And not only that, but you buy a $240 mask, $200 mask, and you start to scratch your lens up, and now you have to buy a $50 to $60 lens. Like, holy crap. That's kind of rough, don't you think? I mean, but again, I'm looking at it from back in the day where I wore Pro Flexes and swapped to Virtue Vios. And Pro Flexes, you buy a whole mask for $80, but 100 because I'd always double strap the mask. But and lenses were only $25, $30, I think, at the time, maybe. But now, all these lenses are coming out for other masks, and they scratch just as much, or not, if not easier. And we're being charged $50, and then, everything's the same. What is it? The same rubber, and we're kind of we're paying a premium for the same type of rubber, I should say. I mean, it's probably not all the same. 100% is not all the same. But my correlation is just that, I'm sounding like a broken record now, but for like a mask for $200, it's kind of crazy when there's not a huge jump in integration of what we can do for masks. Like, it's, I don't know. There's not enough technology to warrant $200 to me. That's my opinion. Now, am I saying that I wouldn't ever buy a $200 mask? I mean, those push unites are sick. I mean, they really are. But I can't. I don't know. I'd have to be sponsored by them in order to drop the money on them. I'll say that. So there's that. There's tanks, man. Tanks are creeping up in that $200, and I used to pay $130 max. I mean, I wait for deals on tanks now in order to buy a new tank. It's kind of crazy. I have an SLP tank over here with a PSP World Cup. Like, what is it? The strap thing for your arm. Back in the day, they put the strap on your arm to make sure you were like a player or whatever. I have that right here, and it is like, it's kind of beaten to hella out of hydro. And yeah, that thing, the SLP tank was like $130, and that thing was sick. I love that thing. I have an SL2 now, and that one, I think I got it when it was about $150, maybe 170, right before like the super creep. And like, yeah, again, now, what really do we have that's any different in tanks now? I mean, they're all carbon fiber. That's been a thing for years now. The regulators probably a lot better. The regulators probably definitely are a lot better, like definitely. But like, so a bottle that's worth like $100, but you want to charge me $120 for a regulator. I don't know, man. I can't see that. I mean, I don't buy my stuff secondhand, especially tanks, because I'm a little weary about that. But man, I'll wait for that sale. I'll tell you what, I'll wait for that sale, or if I get sponsored by them, yeah, I'll do it all day. But isn't that just insane to think about? Even like knee pads are creeping out into like the $70, $80 range. After we've had them for like $40. One thing I really want to talk about is speed feeds, man. Speed feeds used to be $25, like $25 for a speed feed. And I used to have one. I had a die rotor from 2009 when they first were introduced. I still have it in my gear bag. It was like the camo. It was like the snowish dye camo. I can't remember what you would call it, but it was that. And then I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a speed feed. You'd get the HK Army or the KM Dagger Spine Speed Feed, the gummy one. And those things were like $20, and those were awesome. And now we're up to like $40 a speed feed. I mean, I know we get some for like 35 for spires and stuff, but dude, like if I got a speed feed for $50, that thing better not break. It better not break. and I can't see myself buying one outright. I have to be sponsored or wait for Black Friday or something, because it's just kind of crazy. Now, I'm not trying to be like a stickler and be like penny pinching, but like we pay so much in paintball. We pay for so much in paintball. Joggers just went from $50 to now they're creeping into the 80s and 100, and some are 100. Like, joggers just became a thing, and like we're paying $200 for a hopper. I mean, I bought that die rotor when it first got introduced for $100. So now we're paying $250 for a hopper. We're paying $250 for a mask, or let's just say $200 for a mask. You know, we got to buy a marker. A lot of us aren't going to skimp out and we're going to buy the $1,500 marker. We got to buy a bottle for $230. I think I already covered the mask. We got to buy a speed feed for $50. We got to buy, you know, if we are with Spire, we want to buy the charger kit for like $50. Some hoppers don't come with ramps, so now we got to buy a ramp, and that's like $30. And you know, it's kind of absolutely crazy how nickel and dimed as players we are. That kind of forces us into sponsorships. I mean, we're not really forced into it, but it's nice to have those sponsorships because a lot of the companies are so helpful. They're so awesome, and they're extremely helpful when it comes to sponsorships, and they'll cover a lot of things. And for that, I am extremely grateful. But like we talk about a lot, like growing the sport. The community is always talking about growing the sport, but how can we grow the sport when we offer this, like this, it's this costly just to get into it? Like, I get it. We do have our budget tanks. We do have our budget hoppers. We do have our budget guns, but let's be honest, you know, we're sending those guns in, we're sending those hoppers in, we're sending those bottles in because of leaks, burst discs, a hopper electronics aren't working, something broken, it is snapped off. You know, remember the Z2s? They wanted us to pay, I think those Z2s were like $120, and that nose cone was just so dog crap that you would swing your gun up to go shoot and they would fly right off. Like GI LVLs, those things, if I were to ever tell like a new player to stay away from certain hoppers, it was always the LVL in the end of the lifespan of the Prophecy. When the Z2 was kind of dying out, I would always say just stay away from it, and if you have it, get something else. Because it was just those hoppers were just so quick to just open up on you, and you know, you paid $50 for paint, and you know, you just lost a hopper doing nothing. You just lost it flicking your gun up. You know, it's kind of ridiculous. So I don't know. I'm not trying to penny pinch or anything like that, but I do believe that let's see where we're at and just slow down and kind of come to a realization. Now, a lot of us that do play paintball, though, we can't afford these things. We save up, and a lot of us that are diehard competitive players, we have no problem paying that stuff because we're also paying for hotel fees. We're also paying for travel fees. We're also paying for food fees. We're paying for entry for the tournament. You know, we're paying all this stuff, and sometimes we go home with nothing. A lot of the times we go home with nothing. And, you know, but I get it. A lot of us will pay that fee. So I don't know. To me, it's just prices are kind of getting way, 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 way out of hand. You know, there are some times I'm not sponsored by a certain company, and I genuinely would like to have their product. Barrels are one of them. Barrels are kind of crazy. You know, I mean, barrels have always kind of been that way, but I don't know. It's kind of like, back in the day you would pay $40 for a back and $40 for a front, even maybe $45 per. So like, 45 for a back, 45 for a front. Now it's like you pay $80 for a front. Like, let's say the Plain Eclipse FL kit, great barrel system, $80 for a front, $40 for a back. Now you need multiple backs. You've just spent over $80 on a 681, a 684, and a 687. So it's like 120. You spent $120 on just backs alone. And then you spent $80 on the front. You spent $200 on a barrel. Like, man, but great barrel system. Absolutely great barrel system. I always loved the Dye UL. I have never shot one. I've always wanted to shoot one. I've always wanted to have one. But again, it's like $60 for, I think it's 60 for a front, 50 for a back, and you have to have multiple backs, and it kind of sucks. So, I mean, that's something with barrels. Again, it kind of goes into the cost of everything. I'm sounding like a broken record again, but yeah, definitely. I just let's hold the horses, right? Let's slow down on the prices and see where we're really at. Let's see if we're making that technological jump in order to actually, have people pay these premium prices, I guess. I mean, that's my hot take on it. Of course, people obviously don't share the same opinion as I do. They'll go out and they'll pay these premium prices because they see the affordability, or not even the affordability, but they see those technological changes that, they deem $200 worth, $150 worth, and so, yeah, so be it, more power to them and stuff. Again, hit me up with that sponsorship and I'll buy your products. Definitely. I'll tell you what, but, yeah. So I don't know. That's kind of like a quick thing I wanted to talk about with price changes and stuff like that. I mean, I've been trying to follow it throughout the years, and, man, that's just one thing where I'm like, oh, frick, I need a new bottle. But $230 for a new bottle, I'm like, dang, man, I'm going to have to wait till like Black Friday, over Black Friday, or go up to the coach and say, hey, man, how about we get sponsored by so-and-so and, let's go from there, But yeah, I mean, that's just my hot take on it. I'm totally open to talking about those issues if anybody wants to talk about them. I'm not trying to make like a movement or something like that. I'm just saying. But yeah, if I haven't said it already, because it's been a hot minute, if you do want to sponsor the channel, right up there, and you can, if you want to sponsor the podcast, you can sponsor the podcast and I can review all items, send them back. I don't care to really keep them unless you don't care for me to keep them. And yeah, have more things to talk about. I think that'd be pretty sick. I think in like episode 2, I would like to do a gear bag and kind of open up my stuff and like show everybody what I'm working with, because I have some pretty freaking old things in there. I guess speaking on the behalf of gear bags, one thing I'd like to talk about is pants. We're all moving to, what are they called? Oh God, joggers. We're all moving to joggers and everything. And, I don't know. I feel like I would really like to collab with I don't know. I would like to collab with somebody, maybe like Empire or GI or, oh man, BK. Oh, freaking, I would love to collab with BK. And cause I have a pair of their joggers, the leopard print. But I've, ever since the beginning, I wore the Valken, some sort of Valken orange colored ones, pants, and then moved up into when 2011 hit, I bought the NXC elevation pants that are black and red, and I've worn those ever since. I even wear them till this day because they are super durable. That you can't rip them. I've been in countless scenarios, woods ball tournaments, not NXL, PSP tournaments, CFP tournaments, MVPS tournaments, so many tournaments, and they have not torn at all. The only time they do tear is when I run through some briars or thorns, and yeah, of course, they snag and they get ripped out. It's kind of the name of the game, but the threading, I should say, the threading gets ripped, but it's like they're not crazy rips. They're just like little hairline. So I still wear those to this day if I can fit into them, and I love those pants. But I think like if I could collab with somebody and make those types of pants again, not necessarily the jogger style, but the old pants from back in the day where they were kind of baggy, but like put durability where durability is needed. So like not where needed, because I think that the whole pant needs durability, but more so padding. I mean, I don't care for padding. Everybody wears knee pads. Everybody wears slider shorts nowadays, so that stuff doesn't really matter. But like ventilation on the inside of the like thighs to the wrap around into the back, on the back side of the thighs, and then on the knee and like kind of upwards on top of the thigh, and then down to the side of the calf on like the right side on the right leg and the left side of the left leg. You know, put that like super durable padding stuff. Man, I can't remember what they call it, but put that stuff on that, so that way when we hip slide, especially on the hips, hip slide, knee slide, Superman and stuff like that, we have that durability. We have that will hold up the pant from ripping, not necessarily just from bounces or stuff like that, but just durability itself. So I think that would be great. I mean, there's still a market for it if everyone's thinking that there's no market, but I mean, like joggers, I feel like there's no, I'm scared to spend the money on a jogger pant because I feel like they might not be as durable as the old style. I mean, that's just me thinking. I mean, I'm probably totally wrong. I have the BK jogger leopard print that I wear, and they've held up great. I mean, I have no problems with those, right? So the proof is in the pudding. I mean, but they were like $130, and my team's sponsored by BK, and I didn't even go through them to get them. So, but that's a story for another day. But yeah, like, you know, I feel as though there's still a market, man. Like, especially with ICPL and stuff. You know, I love the old JT pants. They used to go real fast in the knees. But the logo, I can't get with them just because the logo on the thighs it felt like when you were sweating and stuff and you would get like wet and whatever, especially where I'm from, the logo would like sit on your leg and you felt like you had an extra little bit of weight on you because the logo was just so thick, instead of being like stitched in or something. So I don't know. I feel like, you know, I've got some NXCs lined up again. I've got them on a website here. Probably pick them up, but yeah, I don't know, man. Man, there's some old stuff that I wish, man. You know what I wish we would bring back is like shoebox shockers, like SP. Make a shoebox shocker, but like don't even add any internals on the bottom. Just make just make a shoebox shocker. Make the bolt system of the amp and stuff like that, but like leave out the bottom half. Just make it a shoebox, you know. It's like, you know, that would be awesome. You know, if Bob Long was still around, I mean, not Bob Long himself, but the company Bob Long, if they were still around and they make a Defiant, you know, an old shoebox Defiant, you know, we have those technological changes to where we don't need that much components in the markers anymore. But like, just to make it a shoebox, I don't know, like a little throwback or whatever. that would be cool. So I'm gonna try to keep up on that. See if anybody does a throwback. I'll see if I can purchase something myself. But yeah, that's wishful thinking. But yeah. So there's that. Jerseys. I think jerseys need to be a little bit longer. I wear tall jerseys just because feel like we need a little bit of that extra length. I feel like they always get thrown up and pulled up out of the pod pack and stuff like that. Maybe I'm wearing it the wrong way, but I always buy my jerseys long. So, I mean, frick, F me, right? I always buy them long anyway, so it doesn't even matter. So, I guess disregard that. But, man, that's some stuff. So I think, yeah, in the next episode of the podcast, I definitely think I will touch on my gear bag. I think that'll be interesting to talk about. I can talk about some of the history of some of the stuff that I have, because I've got some stuff in there that's been forever. It's sitting right next to me down here. So yeah, that will be the first one of Off the Break Off the Break podcast. I was trying to think if we have anything different or anything else, I should say. But yeah, that'll be episode 1. I thank you guys for coming out and watching. And if you guys have any questions, throw them down below. I'd like to do a segment too, where I analyze your gameplay and I try to help you out and coach you into being a little bit better. I'm a coach right now, and if you have any questions or concerns, or feel like why you're stuck in a certain situation and you can't get out of it, I would love to try to help you. Am I some sort of pro coach? No, not at all. But I can help out until somebody just says that I'm doing something wrong. And I mean, we'll get there. We'll burn that bridge when we cross it, right? So, but anyways, thank you guys so much for coming out for the first episode, and I'll see you in episode 2.